Halo Episode 2 is finally out, and it's time to talk it in full spoilers because, yes, there's a Halo show. I still can't believe it. I've seen 2 episodes of it, but it's time to discuss it, guys. So let's discuss this in full spoiler details. Make sure to comment down below your guys' thoughts, and as well as hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy sorts of things like this because I'm a geek. You're probably also a geek, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you down below in the comment section. And as a point of reference, I am a major Halo fan from the games, the comics, the books, all sorts of things like that, other mediums I've read, but it's been quite a while and I could probably use a little bit of a refresher. So this interpretation, just like the first episode, which I really loved, had my trepidations about him taking off his mask. And we go into this episode and he barely wears the masks. Now, again, in the context of the show, I understand why he's not. He's giving a lot more emotion. We're kind of finding out a lot about his backstory. A lot of things that are still pretty much up in the air. And when it comes down to TV reviews, it's a little bit hard to review an episode because without the entire season, it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, this works perfectly fine. I still don't feel fully that he should have to take his mask off. You know, the games have done a wonderful job showing emotion for Master Chief and really making us understand him as well as what other people think about him as well. But, you know, I guess in the context, they don't want us seeing that as well. So they're showing us without his mask. And again, I feel like the general public going audience, will not care about that. I feel like gaming fans will. And it's not something that bugs me. It's just something that I feel like it doesn't feel like Master Chief there. Even though, times I do love that he does. I'm getting off on a rant and a ramble. Overall, this episode was good. Not as great as the first one, but I'm still loving my experience with this Halo show and what they are doing, abling to adapt the game source material and adapt it into its own light. Of course, Reach is a thing still. Of course, there are other Spartans. And of course, we even see that he gets to meet up with his friend. We get a little bit more of his backstory back in camp and how his friend has pretty much left. He left the program. There's a lot of cool elements in there, and also seeing what this relic is and how it could possibly tie into the Covenant, the Halo rings, and all sorts of things like that. As us gaming nerds will know, there is a lot of fun elements in there and a lot of devastating stuff in that. And I feel like what this episode does is it shows the two sides of Master Chief. The side that is very much dedicated to what he is doing, as well as the side that maybe is kind of feeling who can he trust. He doesn't feel like he can trust many, but he feels like he can trust Halsey, which we see at the very end of that certain line, which makes us think, is Halsey someone that he can actually trust? Of course, from the games, there is a lot of development between Master Chief and Halsey, and it's really much the few core relationships we see Master Chief have is that, and as well as Cortana, which we know she will be making her debut in here soon. We see it, it's hinted throughout this episode, and I feel like next episode, episode 3, will probably be the one where Cortana is finally installed within Master Chief's entire lifestyle, and I think that is going to be where I feel like this show starts to finally gain its momentum. The first episode, again, opens up action-packed, but establishes there's something weird going on. The next episode establishes more that Master Chief, he has this weird resemblance to him. And of course, the human that is with the prophets, which I didn't get to mention this, the prophets look awesome. But that elite is telling them that, hey, what you can do, he also can do. Which again adds that unique parallel. Who is that character? How is this going to tie in? And that is what I'm looking forward to and seeing what happens next. I like seeing a little bit more of Master Chief's backstory and getting more of that because we've never really gotten to touch in that. And again, even though I do have my trepidations once again about his mask taking off, I think for me, seeing the little bit of location and the way that he's in there and interacting, the two parallels was important for his character development. This is very much a character development episode, and it's one that was needed, and I'm hoping that next week starts to finally pack a punch for what this story is going to be. In a sense, this does feel like a prequel to what we know and love in Halo, and that, if really works out, I think this show again could potentially be one of the best video game adaptations yet. Again, episode 2 didn't give us too much to really dive into and discuss in full spoiler context, but it's still an emotional front and a show that I'm very much entertained by and interested in. Hopefully next episode's a little bit more action-packed for me, but again, I'm surprisingly starting to really fall in love with this show. Still have some of my reservations, but I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. So leave a comment, hit that like and subscribe button, and let me know down below your guys' thoughts. So of course, until next time, see you guys next week for episode 3, and stay classy.